now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present the challenge of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers.
On, King! On, you huskies!
Gold discovered in the Yukon, a stampede to Klondike in the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush, with Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog Yukon King as they meet the challenge of the Yukon. Say, what's easier than falling off a log? Here's what's easier. It's fixing yourself up with the swellest tasting breakfast ever. Simply take a big red and blue package of Quaker Puffed Rice or Quaker Puffed Wheat. Pour out a crisp, fresh bowlful of delicious rice or wheat shot from guns. Yes, these premium king-size grains are shot from guns, exploded up to 8 times normal size to make 'em crisp and tender, bigger and better tasting. Now topped with fresh, canned, or stewed fruit and milk or cream. And say, do you know what you've got? You've got a breakfast treat that can't be beat. That's Quaker Puffed Rice or Quaker Puffed Wheat. The Major and Mike traveled as passengers on the Northwest Trading Company's freight sleds from Skagway to Dawson. And when they reached the Klondike boomtown, they took rooms at the Palace Hotel. The Major was delighted to be back in his old stamping grounds, but Mike was unable to share his enthusiasm.
We're here at last, Mike.
Yeah.
In Dawson, the heart of the gold country.
From what I can make out of this town, you can't find any gold here. All you can do is spend it.
That's quite true, my boy, quite true. But the creeks are close at hand.
When do we start for them?
Oh, all in due time. We shall relax for a few days, Michael, and enjoy the spectacle of Dawson.
There's not a penny to waste on enjoying the spectacle of Dawson. We've got to buy an outfit and a dog team. You persuaded me to come up here with you, Major. But the idea was to hunt for gold, not to have a good time.
To have a good time, one only has to take advantage of one's opportunities. I can enjoy myself wherever I am.
Then you can enjoy yourself digging gravel. How much do we need for supplies?
Only $200.
And we'll need a dog team and a sled.
I shall arrange for them.
I've been told that you can't buy a good lead dog for less than $500.
There's where I have a pleasant surprise for you, my boy.
A surprise? And pleasant? It doesn't sound like you, Major. I've learned to be wary of your surprise.
But this is different. Yes. Now, what would you say, my boy, if I told you we already owned a lead dog?
I'd say the wish was father to the thought, and that your imagination had overcome your good sense once more.
Not in this case. No, indeed. We own what is probably the best lead dog in the Yukon. Always excepting Sergeant Preston's King, of course.
And who's he?
The best in the business. You'll see him before we leave Dawson. But Blackie is a magnificent specimen as well.
Is Blackie our dog?
Yes, he is.
And how did we happen to acquire him?
I have owned him since he was a puppy, my boy. He was only 10 months old when I left the Yukon 2 years ago. By now, he's achieved his full growth.
But is he trained?
Should be. I left him in the care of a trainer named Kurt Crandall. Not an admirable character, Michael, but with a reputation for efficiency when it comes to dogs.
Did you pay this Crandall?
$100. More than enough to cover training and board for the 2 years I've been gone. Yes, Blackie should be a veteran of the trail by now.
Well, let's find out about that. This Crandall may have sold him, thinking you weren't coming back.
Impossible. I've written him, you see.
Yeah, let's find out.
Very well, my boy. But Dawson has changed so much that I'm not sure where he lives. The best idea would be to inquire at, shall we say, the Monte Carlo.
We can inquire there, and that's all.
Yes. Come along, Michael.
The Major and Mike left the palace and walked down the main street of Dawson to the Monte Carlo Cafe. The place was crowded with newcomers and miners from the creeks, and the Major headed straight for the bar.
Ah, there's my old friend Tex, still presiding over the beverages. Hello, Tex.
Hello, Major. Welcome back to Dawson.
It's a pleasure to be here. I think we would like...
We'd like to find out where Kurt Crandall is.
Yeah.
Kurt Crandall? Why, he's sitting right over there in the corner, Major.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Thank you, Tex. I'll be seeing you later.
I'm glad you're back, Major.
Really, Mike. For the sake of old times.
For the sake of new times, let's find out about this dog.
We shall. That's Kurt sitting alone, the one with the black beard.
He looks to be an ugly customer.
Oh, well, we can't all be handsome. Hello, Kurt.
Major.
Yes, after 2 years, I've come back. Oh, this is Mike O'Day.
How do you do?
Hi.
I've come back to claim my property. How is Blackie?
You still got an appetite.
Excellent.
In fact, you owe me $50.
Oh, think nothing of it.
You're going to pay me, you don't get the dog.
I shall pay you, of course. What's $50?
What's $50?
Here. And since you choose to be unfriendly, I shall relieve you of your charge at once. Will you take us to the kennels, please?
I don't mind doing that at all. Let's go.
The kennels were on the outskirts of town. There were a number of huskies and other breeds in the runs, and the dogs barked furiously as the men passed. Kurt led the way to a run at the end. There was only one dog in this one. His coat was black, and he huddled in a far corner.
There's your Blackie.
But what's the matter with him?
Healthy enough, if that's what you mean.
Here, Blackie. Here, boy.
As the Major called, the dog sprang to his feet. It was true that he was a magnificent specimen, but his eyes were filled with hate. He snarled his defiance, and then he ran the length of the enclosure and hurled himself at the wire barrier.
Get back, Major.
All right, he can break out.
He didn't catch you, did he?
No.
And that's our lead dog.
What have you done to him, Crandall? He was a decent, sweet-tempered puppy when I left him with you. You've turned him into a wild beast.
The wolf strain was always in him. Came out when I tried to break him to harness.
You must have brought it out, sir.
There's some dogs that you can't break. This one's a killer.
No dog is a killer unless he's made one.
I won't argue about it. He belongs to you, not me, and I'm glad of it. Now, do you want me to put a bullet through him, or do you still want to take him with you?
What do you mean, take him with us? Let him out of there and he'll kill us all.
Get back, you mutt. I can get a muzzle on him. You can lead him with a stout chain.
He's no good to anybody, Major. You better have him shot.
Nonsense.
You're not going to take him with us.
No, not at once. I'm leaving him here, Kurt. I want him well fed, understand?
You're wasting your money.
Our money it is.
And no mistreatment. I must decide whether I shall sue you for the malicious destruction of my property.
Malicious destruction?
That's what I said. You've ruined a valuable dog. And I shall make you pay for it in some way, sir. Come along, Michael.
It was that same evening that the Major was talking with a group of men in the Monte Carlo. Kurt Crandall entered the cafe and pushed his way through the crowd to his side.
What's this you're saying about me, Major?
It's nothing I won't say to your face, sir. I believe you should be restrained by law from training, handling, or even owning a dog.
Why, you've no right to say a thing like that.
No? What you've done to Blackie gives me the right.
There's nobody could have done any better with a dog than me. He's vicious, he's mean, he's a killer at heart. Why, it's slander to say that I'm not a good dog trainer. You're trying to take away my living.
I shall prevent you from mistreating another dog if I have to go to law to do it.
Why, if a jury ever got a look at that mutt, they'd be on my side from the start. Nobody could have done any more with him than I did.
I can prove you're wrong,
You
sir.
can't.
I'm willing to wager that with a proper handling, Blackie can still make a good lead dog. That in the space of 2 weeks, he can be broken to harness and driven down the main street as part of a team.
I'd like to see the man who can do it.
I'm sure that you have.
You?
I name no names. I'll wager $1,000 that it can be done.
I'll take that bet.
Not you, sir. I'll have no further dealings with you.
I've called your bluff.
Oh, no, you haven't. But if you are the one to accept my wager, I demand something extra.
Odds, I suppose. Well, I'm willing to give
Not
you...
odds, Kurt. In addition to your 1,000, you must put up a signed agreement that you will never own, train, or handle another dog if you lose.
That's a bet.
that you'll pay me $10,000 if the agreement is broken.
But if I win?
You'll win my 1,000, and you're free to continue with your business.
Agreed. Shake hands on
I
it.
will not shake hands with you, sir. Everything will be in writing.
Blackie must be driven down the main street of Dawson 2 weeks from tonight at this same time, 8 o'clock.
Tex,
Yeah?
pen and ink and some paper, if you please.
All right, Major.
The terms of the wager were written out, and both men signed the paper. It was witnessed, and then...
Here's my 1,000. You hold the stakes, Tex.
Here's mine, Tex.
Yeah, you sure got a good bet, Kurt.
Don't I know it?
Major, I just heard you bet $1,000 that Blackie can be trained in 2 weeks' time.
Quite true, Mike. I've already posted the money.
Yeah, and he can't back out of it now.
What have you done, man? You've given away all the money we have.
No, Mike. There's one man who can win my wager for me. Huh? And you and I are going to see him right now.
I don't know.
It was to the headquarters of the Northwest Mounted that the Major led Mike, and 15 minutes later they were in Sergeant Preston's office. The great dog King lay at his master's feet and watched the Major's face as he described the terms of the wager.
I feel strongly about the man, Sergeant. This was the only way I could think of to make him give up his business.
He can be fined for cruelty to animals.
Oh, not enough to matter.
But of course you must win to put him out of business.
He's got to win or we're broke.
And you're asking me
Have
to...
you seen Blackie, Sergeant?
I have, Major.
Isn't it a shame what's been done to him? You remember what a fine puppy he was?
Yes, I remember. You're asking me to train him.
You, sir, are the only man with the courage, strength, and skill for the job.
What's the use, Major? There's no man equal to it. You'd be risking your life, Sergeant. It's too dangerous. The dog's a killer.
I don't believe that, Mike. And I'd like to save him.
Then you'll do it?
Yes, Major. King and I will do our best.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. Man, oh man. Seems like one thing you can't be sure of is the weather these days. Boy, I was...
If you ask me...
You? Hey, I didn't see you come in.
Oh?
Who are you?
Why, I'm the weatherman.
Weatherman. Boy, you're the fellow that can tell me.
Me?
Sure. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow morning?
It depends.
Huh? Well, what's it going to be like? Sunshiny, rain, snow, or what?
Could be.
Oh, look, can't you tell me for sure?
Young man, speaking off the record, that is, you can be sure of only one thing tomorrow morning.
What's that?
Rain, snow, or sunshiny day, I say nothing makes a day like a breakfast of Quaker puffed wheat or Quaker puffed rice with milk or cream and fruit.
Oh, you go for the breakfast cereals of wheat or rice shot from guns.
Do I? I eat a big bowlful every morning, winter, fall, spring, or summer.
Regardless of the weather, huh?
You bet. They help supply food energy the year round.
Right. Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice furnish extra food values of restored natural grade amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron.
And say, here's a tip. If, mind you, I say if, it's real cold tomorrow morning, you might tell the boys and girls to ask Mom to pop their Quaker puffed wheat or rice into the oven and heat, just for a jiffy.
Good idea. And maybe pour on some hot milk, too, huh?
Right. Now, there's a real, easy-to-fix, warmer-upper breakfast.
And delicious, too. Remember, Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice are shot from guns to make 'em crisp and tender. Yes, these king-size kernels are actually exploded up to 8 times normal size to make 'em bigger and better tasting. Ask Mom to get both kinds, Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. Now to continue our story. The following morning, the Major and Mike led Blackie from Kurt's home to the force headquarters. The dog was muzzled, and it took the combined strength of the two men to control him. However, when Blackie saw King, his interest was in him and not in the men, and the sergeant had no trouble in leading him to an empty run out in back of the barracks.
You're turning him in here?
I'm going in with him. King, you stay outside. Come on, Blackie.
You better leave the gate open, Sergeant,
Why?
so you can leave fast when you take his chain off.
I'm not leaving right away. We have to get acquainted, don't we, Blackie? First the leash comes off.
As soon as the dog was free of the restraining leash, he turned on the sergeant and jumped for his throat. But the muzzle kept him from slashing with his teeth.
Down, Blackie.
You better get out of there, Sergeant.
Blackie leaped again. This time, the sergeant moved fast. He stepped aside and caught the dog in midair.
Down, I said.
One arm went under the dog's jaws and closed in a vice-like grip. Blackie was unable to move or his wind would be shut off. The sergeant lowered him to the ground.
When I say down, I mean it.
Don't let go of him. If you do, he'll go for you again.
That's no way to act when someone wants to make friends with you, Blackie. How about it? We going to be friends? All right, I can wait as long as you can. I'm going to hold you until you change your mind. You don't sound nearly as mad as you did. How about it, boy? It's up to you. I'm not going to let you go until you stop that snarling. Here now. No more growling. I'm not going to hit you. Just patting you. Good dogs like to be patted, and you'd like to be a good dog, wouldn't you, Blackie? Well, you're going to have a chance anyway. Lie down now. That's it. Just lie quiet. That's the idea. Quiet, boy. Good dog.
Sergeant, you're a wonder.
Well, you've quieted him down, but I don't know. He's still muzzled, and you're a long way from breaking him to harness. Do you think there's any chance of doing that?
There wouldn't be if I had to train him alone, but don't forget I have King to help me.
How can he help?
You'll see, Mike. We've made a good start. I've proved I'm not afraid of him and that I'm stronger than he is. He respects me, and he may start to like me before long. You're smart, Blackie. Won't take you long to realize how we do things around here. No whips, no beatings. What's more, I'm taking your muzzle off now. There. You'll like it here, Blackie. Wait and see, boy.
Blackie might have learned to trust him, but the sergeant was forced to make a trip to 40 Mile. And the first night that he was out of town, Joe Mason, one of Kurt Crandall's few friends in Dawson, sat down at Kurt's table in the Monte Carlo.
Evening, Kurt.
Hello.
Yeah, I suppose you know who's got the Major's dog.
I know.
I don't blame you for looking so glum. I think you're going to lose your bet.
Not a chance. Preston hasn't even tried to put him in harness yet.
He still has more than a week to do that.
That dog will tear him apart.
Uh-huh. I was over at headquarters this afternoon. The sergeant was just starting out for 40 Mile. I watched him while he said goodbye to Blackie.
Yeah?
He was talking to him quiet-like. Said that as soon as he got back, he'd teach him how to work in harness. He could go along on the next trip. You wouldn't have laughed if you'd seen Blackie after the sergeant left.
I'm not going to lose my bet, Joe.
Well, personally, I wouldn't like any part of it. Yeah, I'll see you later, Kurt.
Kurt's eyes were hard and his jaw set as he watched Joe walk away. The outward sign of a determination forming in his mind.
Dog has to be driven the length of Main Street for the bet to be working. Joe may be right. The sergeant may be able to handle him. If he gets a chance, that is. It's up to me to make sure he doesn't.
Blackie woke that night shortly after midnight, and he whimpered a little. Something was wrong. The gate of his run was wide open, and then the scent reached him. The man he hated was very near. He raised his head and saw him, leaning over the fence of the run. The man carried a length of heavy chain. Even as Blackie watched him, he swung it. And the link bit deep into Blackie's shoulder. Blackie leaped against the fence. Kurt brought the chain down over the dog's head. The pain was a blinding flash. Blackie turned and ran through the open door of the run, away, on and on, as far as he could get from the man he feared. It was 2 days later that the sergeant returned from 40 Mile, and the major met him with the news of Blackie's disappearance.
This is Saturday. There are only 7 days more.
Blackie may come back before then.
Doesn't seem very likely, and the saddest part is that I'm almost sure you'd have been able to bring it off, Sergeant.
The saddest part is that we're broke.
The sergeant's thinking about the dog.
Yes, I'd have liked to make up a little for the treatment he's received. Too bad we couldn't give him a chance, King.
6 days passed. On the following Saturday, the sergeant was driving down from the creeks toward Dawson, and he stopped at the edge of a thick woods shortly after noon to rest and feed his team.
There you are. Go to it, boys. What's the matter with you, King?
The great dog was watching the woods. Then suddenly he broke away from his master's side and disappeared among the trees. The sergeant followed him, wondering, and 100 feet from the trail he learned the reason for King's action. King was facing another dog, and the dog was Blackie.
Hello, Blackie.
Blackie only growled a little as the man patted him. That hand had never hurt him, and the man had fed him several times, many times. Blackie had been unable to find anything to eat for 2 whole days. The man slipped a hand underneath his collar, and he started to pull away. But the man was leading him in the direction of food, and the scent was overpowering in its attraction.
Yes, hungry, aren't you, fella?
But when Blackie reached the edge of the trees and saw the other dogs, he refused to move a step farther.
Too much company for your taste? All right, boy, you can eat right there.
Blackie watched the man closely. He returned in a moment and held out a piece of caribou meat.
There you are.
Blackie wrenched it in his hand.
Easy, fella, easy.
And wolfed it down. Miraculously, when he had finished, there was another piece being held out to him. This time, he took it more gently.
See? You don't have to be in such a hurry.
The man held out another piece of meat to him, and another, and still another. The pangs of hunger had disappeared, and Blackie felt a delightful sense of well-being overcome him. The time came when he only sniffed at the meat that the man held out to him and dropped into the snow. He was drowsy, his eyes closed.
Sleepy, aren't you? Well, that's good. I think you'll be a little easier to handle that way. Of course, if we're going to drive him back to Dawson, King, it'll be up to you. You think you can make him behave in a few hours? All right. Come on, Blackie.
The other dogs were lying at the side of the trail. The man led Blackie to a point about 10 feet from the sled. Then he turned him around so that his back was to it. Quickly, the man fastened a piece of leather to the harness he was wearing. Blackie tried to pull away from them, and he felt a heavy weight dragging against him. In a flash, he was wide awake and remembering completely. This had happened to him once before, and when he had tried to get away, the man he hated had beaten him cruelly with a chain. But now there was no man facing him, only the big dog with the silvery coat. And the big dog was ordering him to be silent, to stand still, to stop his frantic efforts to free himself. Blackie went wild with rage, and in spite of the weight dragging at him, he threw himself at the big dog. He knew that he had missed his target, and then something hit him, the other dog returning his attack, and he was knocked over sideways and into a snowdrift. He fought to rise, but the other dog was holding him down, completely helpless. He refused to give up. He struggled to free himself. This was death. Once the other dog's jaws closed on him, and it would be the end. His strength began to fail, and at last he lay quiet, waiting. But nothing happened. A sharp bark, and the big dog leaped aside, allowing him to rise. Blackie staggered to his feet and faced him. He started to growl. The big dog barked sharply, and he was silent. He admitted that he had been beaten. And yet, strangely, there was no humility in the admission, because rising in him was the instinct that man's cruelty had thwarted, the instinct bequeathed to him by his mother and his father, the instinct of the born sled dog. This was his place. This was where he belonged. And when other dogs had lined up behind him and a gray and white dog nipped at his heels, trying to make him move out of his place in the line, he refused to budge. This was his place. The big dog with the silver coat upheld his right to it.
Sorry, Tango. King says you'll have to run behind this trip. Go on, Tango. Sure you have everything arranged the way you want it, King. You in the lead and Blackie directly behind you? Well, that suits me. Just a second. I'll get you hitched up. How do you do it, King? Blackie's standing here like a veteran. Must be more than teaching them who's boss. There you are. Who can tell, King? It's a long way, but we still might get to Dawson by 8 o'clock.
A moment later, when the sergeant gave the command to start...
On, King! On!
King leaped forward, and Blackie was caught unaware. He sprawled in the snow, and for a second he tried to swerve aside. But an encouraging bark from King brought him back into line. And in less than 15 minutes, he was running straight and true, throwing his weight against the harness. Dusk was falling, though, and Dawson was miles away. A few minutes before 8 o'clock that evening, the Major and Mike walked into the Monte Carlo and found Kurt standing at the bar.
Well, look who's here. I didn't think you'd show up at all, Major. You're not going to enjoy watching Tex pay me off, are you?
Hey, you have the money, Tex?
Yeah, it's right here, Major.
Well, the first thing you can do is tear that up agreement I signed.
Not so fast. It isn't 8 yet.
You expecting Blackie to come along before then?
Let's go outside.
What for?
It seems to me I hear a dog team coming down the street.
I do for sure.
Come along, everybody. Let's take a look.
The crowd that poured out of the cafe recognized King setting the pace for the team that was racing toward them. There was no mistaking him, and as the team flashed by the cafe, there was no mistaking the dog that ran directly behind him. It was Blackie. The sergeant drove on to the end of the street and then turned around and came back to the cafe. The men pressed forward to shake his hand, and then they all trooped back into the cafe and cheered the major as Tex paid him off.
Now, don't forget, Kurt. Don't forget what this agreement says. You're through as a dog trainer.
Oh, let me out.
I'd advise you to leave by the back door, Kurt. Blackie's out front.
Let me out.
He's taking your advice, Sergeant. And look at him. He's a crestfallen cur if I ever saw one.
I still can't believe it. You only found Blackie this afternoon, Sergeant. You managed to break him in a matter of hours.
That was King's doing, wasn't it, boy?
You're a wonderful dog, King. Yes, you are. And by putting Mr. Crandall out of business, you saved a lot of other dogs from being mistreated by him.
A dog like Blackie needs only a chance. He'll do his work well. He'll be proud and happy to give his best. I think you've proved that tonight, King. Yes, boy, with your help, we've put Crandall out of business and given Blackie another chance. I'm happy to say this case is closed.
In just a moment, Sergeant Preston will give you a preview of Wednesday's adventure. Quaker Puffed wheat and Quaker Puffed rice are never sold in bags or bulk. To get the original, crisp, fresh wheat or rice shot from guns, always buy the big red and blue packages with the smiling Quaker man on the front. That's your family's guarantee that you're getting the one and only Quaker Puffed wheat and Quaker Puffed rice. And say, fellas, here's a tip. This week is Boy Scout Week. That means the Boy Scouts are rounding up new recruits. Scouting, you know, means hiking, camping, all kinds of outdoor fun and excitement. Adventure, that's scouting. Visit your neighborhood scout troop or write to your local scout headquarters. Join the Boy Scouts for the time of your life. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated, are created and produced by George W. Trendle, directed by Fred Flowerday, and supervised by Charles D. Livingston. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. They are brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this same time by Quaker Puffed wheat and Quaker Puffed rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns. Listen Wednesday when Sergeant Preston and Yukon King meet the challenge of the Yukon in the case Preston Faces Death.
We were sure that the man called Dirk was trading in stolen goods. To prove it, I posed as an outlaw and tried to join his organization. I was trapped when Dirk learned my true identity. It was one of the most critical and dangerous situations of my career.
Be sure to hear this exciting adventure Wednesday. For delicious hot breakfast, eat Quaker Oats. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Yes, the giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Delicious, nutritious, makes you feel ambitious. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Say, boys and girls, do you want to be a star someday in sports and activities? Then start on good Quaker Oats breakfast tomorrow. 'Cause nourishing oatmeal gives you more growth and endurance than any other whole grain cereal. Still less than 1 penny a serving. Quaker and Mother's Oats are the same. This is J. Michael wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker Puffed wheat and Quaker Puffed rice. So long. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company. Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker Puffed wheat and Quaker Puffed rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present the challenge of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest. blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers.
On King, on Husky.
Gold discovered in the Yukon. A stampede to the Klondike in the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush, with Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog, Yukon King, as they meet the challenge of the Yukon. You can tell by the stars. Yes, follow the breakfast tip of many a top-action Hollywood movie star. Eat a heaping bowlful of nourishing, delicious Quaker puffed wheat or Quaker puffed rice topped with milk or cream and fruit. Wheat or rice shot from guns furnishes extra health values of restored natural-grade amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron. Yes, sirree, they're good for you. And so swell tasting they can't be beat. So latch on to delicious Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat, the nourishing, ready-to-serve breakfast cereals shot from guns. The sergeant stopped his team at the foot of the hill, and with only King at his side, climbed to the top. It was only 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was already dark. At the crest of the hill, the sergeant dropped to the ground. On the far side of the valley, he could see the Indian village lit by a great bonfire, and around the fire, a circle of leaping shadows.
No, I don't like it either, King. Isn't what we've heard is true? Miyaku's out to make trouble. Looks to be more than 100 braves with guns. There's no telling what might happen. It's a bigger job for us, though, King. This calls for troops. Get back to Dawson as fast as we can. Should make it by morning. Come on, boy.
At the bottom of the hill, the sergeant turned his sled around and then headed down the creek in the direction of the Yukon.
On King, on Husky.
2 hours later, they reached Chet Bradley's trading post and roadhouse on the banks of the river.
Okay, hi, Huskies. Hola.
Hello.
That you, Chet?
Yeah. Oh, it's you, Sergeant. Welcome.
I won't be so welcome when you hear my news. Can I get some hot food for the dogs?
Of course, I'm just ready to feed Moon. Yeah, what's the news?
With Miyako. The wind's in the wrong direction, or you'd hear the drums.
War drums?
Yes. He's getting ready to stage a small rebellion.
Then that explains it.
Explains what?
Joe and Tagish, my Indians, they've disappeared.
You all alone here?
Except for Doc Campbell. He's stopping for the night.
He won't be much help. Into the run, boys. Go on, Tonto. I'll have your food in a minute. You can come with me, King. Well, perhaps Doc's sober.
Oh, that's a little too much to expect. He isn't bad.
Well, he'll have to lend us a hand.
Do you think Miyako will attack here?
He may. If he doesn't do it tonight, though, he won't have the chance. I'm on my way to Dawson for the troops.
Good.
But you'll have to be prepared to defend yourself, Chet. Miyako needs guns, and you have them. I'll help you board up all your windows before I leave. We'll leave enough room to shoot through, and that's all. Too bad you don't have a lot of travelers stopping here tonight.
Yep, there's only Doc. The stew will be ready for the dogs in a minute.
Well, if it isn't the illustrious Sergeant Preston. Join me in a drink?
No, I won't, and you're not going to join yourself either. We have work to do.
Sergeant, I'm a paying guest.
Perhaps you'd like to be a dead guest.
What's that?
He's serious, Doc. Miyaku's on the warpath. He may start here. Or perhaps you'd rather hit the trail instead of staying.
Nonsense. Nothing I'd like better than a good fight. Die like a hero. Remember the Alamo. All the rest of it.
Oh, it shouldn't be that bad, Doc. I was just exaggerating to make an impression on you. The Indians can only have a few guns. With a little work, we can turn this place into a fort. Even if they do attack, we should be able to hold them off, and I'll be back with some troops by tomorrow night.
You're going on to Dawson tonight?
Just as soon as my team's fed and rested.
Well, let's go. We'll take care of them right now.
As soon as the dogs were fed, the sergeant, Chet, and Doc went to work and boarded up the windows. When they had finished...
Have plenty of ammunition?
Yep. It's all here in back of the counter.
Rifles, too.
Oh, make mine a Winchester. That's a strange preference for me.
Try to stick to it for the evening.
This case is open. I sold one the day before. What the?
What's the matter?
Empty. Hey, Sergeant, there's one case missing. Joe and Tagish must have taken them.
And now Miyako has them. How many?
20.
What about ammunition?
There's a lot of that missing, too.
That changes things.
It sure does.
Of course, it could mean they won't come here at all. They already have rifles, I mean.
What's the nearest trading post? They may want more rifles and food.
We're on the Yukon Trail, lots of travel. Yaku might prefer to hit some place that's a little more isolated.
Well, listen. Someone just drove up. Reinforcements for the garrison.
Good. I hope you have plenty of guests tonight, Chet. I'll feel better about leaving.
Chet. It's Grant Monroe. Hey, Grant.
Will you give me a hand?
With your dogs? Since when do you need any help unharnessing a team?
Not with the team. I've got a girl on the sled. She's sick.
Ah, a girl.
Oh, what's the matter with her?
I don't know, but it's bad. Help me carry her in.
I'll do it, Grant.
All right, Sergeant.
Who is she?
Her name's Ann Sheldon. She's a nurse.
Oh, really?
On her way to the hospital in Dawson. She's got a lot of medical supplies and stuff with her. She hired me in Whitehorse. Look at her, Sergeant. She's passed out cold.
She isn't heavy, Grant. I'll carry her.
She was all right this morning, but when we stopped to eat this noon, she wasn't hungry. And now look at her.
Yes.
In my room, Sergeant. It's warmest this way.
There. Slip this parka off.
Here's some blankets.
Her forehead's hot. High fever.
Doc, are you really a doctor?
No.
Oh, too bad.
What's her name, Grant?
Ann Sheldon.
What?
She's a nurse.
Sheldon.
What's so funny?
Nothing at all. I knew a Dr. Sheldon in San Francisco years ago. She looks like him. Might be his daughter.
She's a great gal, Doc. Regular. You know, they've had a lot of diphtheria in Whitehorse, and she's been up night and day nursing people.
Diphtheria, Grant?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I've no idea, but it's possible. She's finding it hard to breathe.
Oh,
There, she's coming too.
doctor,
I'm sorry there's no doctor here.
where am I?
Chet Bradley's Roadhouse. Is there anything you want? Anything we can get you?
So warm.
Yes, you have a fever.
I know. My throat, I must have it.
Diphtheria?
Yes. All the symptoms. You're wearing a uniform.
Sergeant Preston, Northwest Mounted.
Of course. Sergeant, on the sled, supplies for the Dawson Hospital. There's serum, the antitoxin, a hypodermic needle.
Grant, come with me.
What about the serum?
There's some on your sled. We'll bring all the supplies in here, and then she can point out what we're supposed to use. I've seen it done. I suppose I can do it. Come on.
The sled was unloaded. Anne pointed out the box containing the serum. In painful whispers, she directed the sterilizing of the hypodermic needle and the amount of serum to be placed in it. She gestured for her arm to be bared and pointed to the place where the needle should be inserted.
Here?
I think so.
A little more to the right.
Oh, you do know something about this, Doc.
I've seen it done. That's it. Now.
Is that all?
Yes. If it isn't too late. Almost sleep.
If you want anything, call. We'll be just outside.
Thank you.
Come on, Doc.
Sergeant, when you get to Dawson, you'll bring a doctor back with you.
If there's one that can be spared, Chet, there's a lot of sickness in town.
Somebody's got to come. I'll make them. I'm going up to Dawson, Sergeant. I can't do anything here, and I feel responsible.
We can use you here. Miyako may attack tonight.
Miyako?
Indians are on the warpath.
Then I've got to get her out of here.
If you try to move her, she'll die.
Listen to King. Listen to the dogs outside.
What's the matter, boy? I don't like the sound of that growl. I'll put out the lamp, Chet. I'll see what's going on outside.
See anything?
Shadows. Hand me a rifle, Grant. They're on the counter.
This one. It's loaded.
Thanks. We'll see what a shot does.
Indians!
Neither you nor I are going to Dawson tonight, Grant. Miyako has the place surrounded.
We'll continue our adventure in just a moment.
down there, partner. What goes on here?
Yahoo! I'm a rootin' tootin' cowhand, that's what.
So I see. You look like one, too. Judging from that 10-gallon hat, chaps, boots, spurs, and all. But look, mister, just you put up those shooting irons of yours and calm down. Fella ought to know better than to go around waving a pair of six-shooters.
Oh, no, you're right, dead right. But say, these are just pea shooters. For real excitement, let me tell you about the kind of gun that gives me a bigger kick than a Longhorn Texas steer.
Oh?
Mister, I'm talking about a gun that's got 'em all beat. Partner, that's the gun that shoots Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat.
Oh, you're telling me?
Yes, sir. A feller with any zip and go to him needs to stow away a He-Man breakfast.
Now you're talking. And Quaker puffed rice or Quaker puffed wheat fills the bill for you, huh?
Does it ever? Just pour on the old milk and cream, add your favorite fruit, and you know what?
What?
There's no beating this eating, that's what.
Well, sir, fellas and girls, that's a mighty good tip. So tomorrow morning, be sure to get the drop on a really swell-tasting breakfast. Eat Quaker puffed rice or Quaker puffed wheat. The ready-to-serve breakfast cereals shot from guns. Yes, Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat are shot from guns, actually exploded up to 8 times normal size to make 'em crisp and tender, bigger and better tasting. Important, too, wheat or rice shot from guns is good for you. Both delicious kinds furnish extra food values of restored natural-grade amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron. Man, oh man, don't miss out another day. Say to Mom, from now on I want to eat Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat. Now to continue. After the Indians' first volley, the night became quiet once more, and the 4 men in the post took advantage of the lull to prepare for a siege.
You'd better take one of these front windows, Doc. It's open ground. You won't have to shoot so fast.
Oh, I'm all right.
Sergeant, how about me making a break for it?
You wouldn't have a chance, Grant. No, there's only one of us who could possibly get away.
Why you more than me?
Not me. King. I'm going to light the lamp again, Chet. I'll write a note to the inspector.
And King will take it to him?
If I tell him headquarters, he'll know where to go. Oh, Chet, you'd better get out in the kitchen. Miyako can see we're ready for him. If he tries to rush the place, it'll be in back, but they'll have the cover of the trees.
Right, I'll keep a lookout. What are you saying, Sergeant?
Asking the inspector to get in touch with Major Walsh and send the troops up here. Yukon trail's hard packed. They can ride this far. Bring snowshoes if they have to follow Miyako into the forest.
Oh, don't forget the doctor.
I won't.
Why, it'll be tomorrow afternoon before he can get here. If the serum doesn't work, he won't be needed.
You mean she'll die?
Diphtheria, bullets, maybe we'll all die. No great loss in some cases.
Here, King. I want you to take this to headquarters. Understand, boy? Headquarters. Better leave by the back way, King. Come on. See anything, Chad?
No, it's too dark.
Let's hope they don't see King.
You're opening the door now?
That's right. Quiet, boy. Go to it. Headquarters.
He's gone. Into the trees.
Now keep to the woods until he gets past them. No sound. He's making it.
No.
King, boy.
What if they got him?
All we can do is hope they didn't.
Sergeant, here they come.
Let them have it.
For the next 15 minutes, the sergeant and Chet fired steadily at the menacing shadows, creeping closer and closer to the post. But finally, they began to withdraw, and the defenders of the post had another breathing space.
Can't see anything at all now. Think they've gone away?
They haven't gone far. No, Chet. Miyako doesn't give up that easily.
Sergeant was right. The renegade chief refused to give up, and all through the night he led attack after attack, hoping for a moment when the defenders of the post would relax their vigilance. Once, toward morning, the Indians charged across the open ground in back of the post. Accurate shots from Chet and the sergeant stopped the first 2 braves, and the others faltered. Miyako urged them on from the shelter of the trees, but they turned and ran. The 2 Indians who had been wounded started to crawl toward cover. Chet and the sergeant held their fire.
Yeah, it's all over. For a little while, I mean.
They might give us a rest now. It's getting late. You need some sleep, Chad.
Yeah, so do you.
I'll see how the others are making out. How's it going, Doc?
Why, you and Chet have been doing all the work.
Yeah, how about taking your place?
We can all take it easy for a while, I think.
What's that?
It's the girl.
Sergeant, what's happening to her? She can't seem to breathe right.
No, the membrane's forming.
Huh? What does that mean?
In her throat. When it closes completely, well, that's the end.
Isn't there something we can do?
Nothing. And her father's to blame.
Her father?
Dr. Alan Sheldon, the head of the hospital where I was a resident. I might still be a doctor if it hadn't been for him. I can still remember the last words he spoke to me. Criminal negligence, Dr. Camel. You'd been drinking, and that's why the patient died. He said, I'll see to it that you never operate again. He saw to it, all right.
Then you are a doctor.
I was a doctor.
Is there anything you can do to save this girl's life?
There's an operation that could be performed. A tracheotomy. One cuts into the windpipe and inserts a tube.
These supplies here. Is there everything that's needed? The instruments and the tube you speak of?
Yes, of course. These supplies were made up to take care of the Dawson Hospital in case there was a diphtheria epidemic there. It's obvious.
Then if you have everything you need, you've got to perform the operation.
Me? I wouldn't if I could. Why should I?
Why should you? You'd stand by and let this girl die when there's something you can do to help her? That's murder.
I've been called a murderer before by Dr. Alan Sheldon.
Doc, listen to me. Once upon a time, you took an oath to help the sick.
Sure. In whatsoever houses I enter, I will enter to help the sick. And I will abstain from any intentional wrongdoing and harm.
Doesn't that still mean anything to you?
Yes, especially the last part. Now, if I carry out this oath and break it not, may I gain forever reputation among all men for my life and my art. But if I transgress it and forswear myself, may the opposite befall me. Well, that's what's happened to me. I've transgressed. I've forsworn.
But you're being given another chance, don't you see that?
It's too late.
Why? Are you afraid?
Of course I'm afraid. You think this hand could hold a scalpel?
Get that box of surgical instruments, Grant.
This one?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
I'm opening the box. There's a scalpel. Pick it up.
I can't.
Doc, if you won't perform this operation, I shall.
What?
You can tell me where to cut and how deep. Your brain can use my hands.
You dare?
I dare anything to save this girl's life. I mean it, Doc. Use my hands.
Wait.
There's no time to wait, is there?
Let me take the scalpel.
Here. Another chance, Doctor. Well?
I won't borrow your hand, Sergeant. I'll borrow your courage. May God have mercy.
The doctor bowed his head and then raised it high. He squared his shoulders. There was a new light in his eyes. Swiftly he prepared for the operation. Only once did he hesitate, for the fraction of a second with his scalpel poised. His hand trembled. He watched it, concentrating his will. The hand steadied. He made the incision. 10 minutes later, it was all over, and Anne's features had relaxed. The terrible effort, the pain was gone. The life-giving air poured into her lungs.
Well done, Doctor.
She'll be all right now.
Come out in the kitchen and have some coffee.
Yes, coffee.
It was light outside now, and the dogs were barking for their breakfast.
Think we should take a chance on feeding them, Sergeant?
I'll see what chance we have.
No Indians around that I can make out. Don't show yourself, Sergeant.
Only for a second. Oh, fine. No, Chet, the dogs will have to wait for their food.
It was a long day of waiting. The men took turns sleeping, but always there were two of them standing guard, one in front and one in back. The light began to fail at 3 o'clock, and they made ready for another siege. There were unspoken questions in each of their minds. Had King managed to get away the night before? Had the sergeant's note reached headquarters? Was there help on the way? The answer was not yet. One of the Indians' bullets had hit King, and though he paid no attention to the searing pain in his shoulder at first, there had come a time when the shoulder began to stiffen.
Try as he might, it was impossible for him to keep up the fast pace he had set as he swung on to the Yukon Trail. He stopped for a moment and licked the wound, but then he started out again. He felt the pain now across his chest, and he knew that if he stopped for long, his shoulder would stiffen so badly he wouldn't be able to continue. He must. The sergeant had told him he must go to headquarters, and he had sensed the urgency in his master's voice. Nothing could stop him, but it was impossible to run. Impossible even to put any weight on his left foreleg now. The hours of the night passed. The gray day dawned, and King hobbled on. His brain was no longer clear. He could only concentrate on the next painful step, with somewhere back in his mind the thought of headquarters, the place he must reach to justify his master's faith in him. At 5 o'clock that afternoon, Constable Downey stopped leafing through a file of papers, set them down, and started for the headquarters front door.
Where are you going, Constable?
I thought I heard a scratching noise. Yeah, some stray, probably. Hey, Inspector.
What's the matter?
It's King. He's been hurt. What is it, boy? Let me see. Here, I'll carry you over by the stove. He can't walk, Inspector. He can hardly move. There, boy.
There, let me see. It's a bullet wound.
Looks like it.
There's a note in his collar.
From the sergeant?
Yes. Miyako's on the warpath. He surrounded Bradley's trading post.
How many men does he have?
100. At least 20 rifles. I'll tell Major Walsh. And a doctor they need. Well, I'll try the hospital. Take charge here, Constable. I don't know when I'll be back.
Yes, sir. Oh, King, old fellow. All the way from Bradley's post. Must have been wounded just as you started out, but you wouldn't let anything stop you. Message to Garcia. Oh, lie still now. I'll wash that shoulder and bandage it. Good boy. Good old King.
At the trading post that night, the little garrison found that Miyako had changed his tactics. Hardly a shot was fired, but the Indians would creep as close as they could to the log building, and then a flaming pine torch would arch through the sky. Sometimes they fell short, but sometimes they would land on the roof.
There's another one. Good thing there's plenty of snow on the roof.
It won't be for long. The torches are probably soaked in coal oil. Try to stop them from getting close enough to throw. As soon as they light a torch, shoot.
I get you. There's one that won't set anything on fire.
But the barrage of torches kept up, and at last a thread of smoke crept down from the roof.
Smoldering, Chet.
We can't do anything about it till it burns a hole through.
We can figure ways and means of getting out of here.
What about surrendering?
Not to Miyako. They'll expect us to come out this door because the woods are closer to it.
Yes, the Indians are closer, too.
I'm thinking about the girl. What happened to Grant's sled out in front?
The team ran away when the shooting started.
Huh? Wonder how fast I could make it to the closest run, the one my team's in.
Not fast enough.
I'm going to try it anyway. All I have to do is open the gate and they'll follow me back in here.
Sergeant.
Start shooting. Keep firing at the edge of the woods. I'm going.
The sergeant opened the rear door and ran the few steps to the first run. He threw open the gate.
Come on, boys.
Then he raced back into the post, the team after him.
Wait it. Quiet down, boys. Quiet.
What for? Why did you want the team in here?
Feed them first.
You risked your life so they wouldn't go hungry?
No, Chet, you have a sled and harness in the store.
Of course.
We'll harness the team inside, put the girl on the sled. I'll go out the back way and draw the Indians' fire, then you open the front door and drive right out. Try to make a getaway.
It's a chance for us, but not for you.
It isn't a very good chance for anyone.
15 minutes later, the inside of the building was filled with smoke, and the sergeant decided there was no point in postponing their break. Anne was wrapped in blankets and placed on a sled in the store. The sergeant's team, fed and ready for the trail, was harnessed to it. And then...
You understand, don't you? Give me a chance to draw their fire.
Yes, right, sir.
Good, I'll see you in Dawson.
The sergeant started for the back of the building, but just as he turned...
Hey, wait a minute. It's a bugle. Yes. And it's the troops.
They're dismounting.
They're going into the woods after the Indians.
Come on, Chet, let's lend a hand.
I'm with you.
As the Indians saw that a full company of soldiers had been sent against them, they lost all taste for fighting. Miyako, their renegade leader, could not make them hold their ground. And when a bullet hit him, the troops only had to round up his followers. As the process was being completed, Major Walsh assigned to a squad to help the sergeant fight the smoldering fire on the trading post roof. The building was saved, And so it was inside the store that the sergeant reported to the inspector.
Well, you've had quite a siege of it, Sergeant.
What's been happening anyway, sir?
Why did you want me to bring a doctor? This Campbell's extremely competent, it seems to me.
Dr. Campbell didn't arrive until after I wrote my note.
Oh, I see.
You know, sir, I really expected you long before you got here.
Well, we made good time. King didn't reach Dawson until 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
What?
He was wounded.
Oh.
Oh, it must have been a tough trip for him.
Is he all right now?
Well, I think so. He will be anyway, just as soon as you pat his head and tell him that he did a good job.
Well, if you don't mind, Inspector, I'll start back for Dawson right away.
Go to it, Sergeant.
And so it was only a few hours later that King felt the sergeant's hand on his head, and the words that made all his pain worthwhile.
Good work, boy. Yaku's been captured, and with him in jail, the Indians won't make us any more trouble. And Sheldon's getting along very well. Dr. Campbell's going to work at the hospital here in Dawson. And, King, as soon as you're up and around again... Wait a minute. Not so fast. I didn't mean up, boy. Lie down. That's better. Take it easy, King. This case is closed.
In just a moment, Sergeant Preston will give you a preview of Monday's adventure. For a breakfast treat that makes your appetite wake up and crow with delight, enjoy the cereal shot from guns, the one and only Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice. Just pour out a bowlful, crisp and fresh, right from the big red and blue package. Add milk or cream, top with your favorite fruit, grab your spoon and dive in. Delicious. Remember, this famous wheat or rice shot from guns is never sold in bags or bulk. Always look for the big red and blue package with the smiling Quaker man on the front. That's your guarantee of getting the original, crisp, fresh Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice. Start tomorrow morning. For a waker-upper breakfast treat, eat Quaker Puffed Rice or Quaker Puffed Wheat. Listen Monday when Sergeant Preston and Yukon King meet the challenge of the Yukon in the case Barry Jeffers Trust.
When young Barry Jeffers decided to go back to the States to enter the Spanish-American War, he didn't expect to run into the enemy in the Yukon Territory. Nor did I think King and I would run into intrigue and murder when we set out to locate Barry.
Be sure to hear this exciting adventure Monday. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated.